You think the manipulator in your life is powerful. You think they have it all figured out. But here is the truth. They are desperately hiding. Their entire personality is a survival mechanism. Every move they make, every word they choose, every guilt trip they run, it all traces back to one thing. A hidden insecurity so deep, they built a whole identity around it. And today, I am going to show you 7 elite methods to find that insecurity, use it against them quietly, and completely dismantle their control over you, without one single argument. Most people try to fight manipulators directly. That never works. Fighting them gives them exactly what they need: your energy, your emotion, your reaction. The real game is played differently, quietly, strategically. You study them. You understand their hidden architecture. And then you pull the right thread. Everything unravels on its own. Here is how you do it. Method 1. Identify their reputation obsession and stop feeding it. Here is something almost nobody talks about. Manipulators are not obsessed with controlling you. They are obsessed with how they look to others. Their deepest insecurity is almost always about reputation, about being perceived as smart, powerful, admirable, or superior. This is their real vulnerability, not their anger, not their silence, their image. Here is how you use this. Stop complimenting them publicly. Stop confirming their narrative to mutual friends. Stop being the person who makes them look good in social situations. You do not insult them. You do not expose them. You simply go neutral in public. You stop amplifying their image. You stop being the audience they perform for. Watch what happens. They get uncomfortable. They start working harder for your approval. They start making mistakes because they are distracted by your neutrality. Their whole false image depends on enthusiastic supporters. The moment you become a quiet, neutral observer, you become the most unsettling person in the room to them. This is not revenge. This is removing yourself as a prop in their performance. And without props, the performance falls apart on its own. You have not done anything aggressive. You have simply stopped participating. That alone is enough to shake their entire constructed identity from the inside. Method 2. Use the agree and redirect technique. Most people argue with manipulators. Big mistake. Arguing puts you in their frame. It confirms that they have something worth defending. It gives them a stage. And manipulators are incredibly skilled performers on that stage. Stop arguing. Start agreeing. And then redirecting. When they make a statement designed to control you, simply say, "You might be right," and then move on to something completely different. No emotion, no pushback, no debate. This technique works because it gives them nothing to grip. Manipulation needs resistance to function. It is like a rope in a tug of war. The moment you drop the rope, they fall backwards. But here is the deeper layer. When you consistently agree and redirect, something interesting happens inside their psychology. They start questioning their own narrative because they are used to people fighting back. Fighting back confirms they are significant. Your calm agreement followed by total redirection sends a very different message. It says, "Your words did not land. They did not even register enough to argue about." That is devastating to someone whose power depends on impact. They begin to doubt themselves. They start over-explaining. They start seeking your reaction more desperately. And the more they seek, the more control you hold. Silently, effortlessly, without a single confrontation. Method 3. Exploit their need for certainty. Every manipulator needs to feel certain. Certain about you. Certain about their control. Certain about how the situation will go. Certainty is their oxygen, and you have been giving it to them freely. You respond predictably. You react emotionally on cue. You follow the same patterns every single time, and they count on that. They plan around it. They exploit it. So become unpredictable. Not chaotic. Not dramatic. Not dramatic. Just quietly unpredictable. Respond differently than you normally would. Change your timing. Change your emotional temperature. Be warm one moment and professionally neutral the next. Not out of cruelty, out of genuine detachment. When you become unpredictable, the manipulator loses their map. They cannot calculate you anymore. And a manipulator without a map is a manipulator in panic mode. Here is what makes this so powerful. You do not have to do anything extreme. Small shifts are enough. Reply an hour later instead of immediately. Decline something you would normally agree to. Bring up a topic they did not initiate. These tiny moves completely disrupt their mental model of you. They will start studying you, trying to figure you out. And the moment they are studying you, you have reversed the dynamic entirely. You are no longer the subject of their experiment. You are the scientist. Method 4. Trigger their imposter syndrome. Silently. Every manipulator carries a secret terror. The terror of being exposed as ordinary, as unimpressive, as someone who does not actually measure up. This is called imposter syndrome, and in manipulators, it runs extremely deep. They manipulate partly because they are terrified that without control, people will see how hollow they actually feel inside. Here is how you use this without saying a word. Start casually referencing high standards around them. Mention impressive people you have spoken to. Reference standards and quality effortlessly in conversation. Not to brag, not to attack. Just naturally weave excellence into your world. What this does is create an invisible pressure on their imposter syndrome. They start measuring themselves against the standard you are casually projecting, and because that standard feels out of reach, their inner critic gets louder. They may respond by overcompensating, by bragging more, by trying to impress you. And that overcompensation is very useful information. It shows you exactly where their insecurity lives. More importantly, it shifts the frame. Instead of you trying to meet their standard, they are now trying to meet yours. The hierarchy has flipped, without a confrontation, without an accusation, just by quietly raising the energy of your own world and letting them feel the gap between your standard and their performance. Method 5. Use strategic silence as a weapon. Manipulators fill silence with control. They speak over you. They define the narrative. They rush conversations so you never have time to think clearly. Speed and noise are their tools. So, use silence. When they make a provocative statement, pause. Do not respond immediately. Let the silence sit. 5 seconds. 10 seconds. Look at them calmly. Let them sit inside that silence with you. Most manipulators cannot tolerate real silence. It makes them nervous. It makes them feel unseen. So, they fill it. And when they fill it, they often reveal far more than they intended. They over-explain. They backtrack. They expose the real motive underneath the surface statement. You learn more from a manipulator in 10 seconds of strategic silence than in 10 minutes of arguing. But there is a deeper effect, too. Your silence communicates something powerful. It says, I do not feel the urgency you are trying to create. I am not on your timeline. I exist at my own pace. That message, delivered through pure calm silence, is incredibly destabilizing to someone whose control depends on your emotional urgency. Practice this daily. Make silence your default response to provocation, not as a game, as a genuine expression of your internal calm. The more real it becomes, the more powerful it gets. Method 6. Withdraw social proof, quietly. Social proof is invisible oxygen to a manipulator. They need people around them to confirm their identity. They need others to see them as charming, impressive, and worthy. Your agreement, your laughter, your visible approval, all of it is social proof, and you have been handing it out unconsciously. Start withdrawing it quietly, not dramatically, not obviously. Just stop being the enthusiastic confirmer. Stop laughing on cue. Stop nodding eagerly. Stop filling in the gaps in their stories with supportive energy. Become a thoughtful, quiet presence instead. When you do this around other people, in social settings, group conversations, or mutual friend situations, the manipulator feels it immediately because they are always scanning the room for confirmation. And when your confirmation disappears, the room feels different to them. They start to wonder, did I lose them? Am I coming across wrong? What changed? That internal questioning is enormously disruptive to their false identity. Because their identity is essentially a group project, it depends on collective buy-in. The moment one person genuinely withdraws, the whole construction becomes less stable. And here's the beautiful part. You have not said anything negative. You have not betrayed anyone. You have simply become more selective with your energy. That is not manipulation. That is self-respect, and it works better than any confrontation ever could. Method 7. Reflect their identity, back with zero emotion. This is the most advanced method, and the most powerful. When a manipulator performs their identity, the confident storyteller, the misunderstood genius, the victim who is always wronged, most people either challenge it or validate it. Both responses keep the game alive. Instead, reflect it back, completely, calmly, with zero emotional charge. When they tell a story that positions them as the hero, simply say, "Interesting," and move on. When they fish for sympathy, respond with, "I hear you," and change the subject. When they brag, respond with a neutral, and look away. No admiration, no skepticism, just a flat, clean reflection. What this does is extraordinarily subtle. It mirrors their performance back to them without amplification, without the emotional payoff they were seeking. And without that payoff, their performance starts to feel hollow, even to themselves. Manipulators are essentially performers without a real audience. They need emotional reaction to feel real. When you remove that reaction completely, when you become the mirror that shows them their own performance with zero applause, their inner world starts to crack. They begin to feel unseen, uncertain, exposed, not because you attacked them, but because you simply refused to be the audience they needed. And that quiet refusal is the most complete deconstruction of a manipulator's identity that exists. Here is what all 7 methods have in common. None of them require you to fight. None of them require you to expose, humiliate, or confront. They all work by removing what the manipulator secretly depends on: your predictability, your reaction, your validation, your social proof, your fear. When you take those things back, their identity has nothing left to stand on. It collapses quietly, from the inside. And you walk away with something they can never take back: your power, your clarity, and your absolute peace of mind. That is how you win. Silently. Completely. Subscribe.